So I got my bin of doom there for broken Lego bricks, and I got, you don't have to see it, it's just a box. It's just a cardboard box full of broken Lego brick. And I got my big box of non-Lego sitting there, and I got yet another bag from Violet Village. So I got about maybe a dozen bags under there, so I wanted to do one before I went to bed. I wanted to sort it out and see what's in here, to see why I bought this one. And I bought it a long time ago, I remember that. This is a bit of a story behind this bag. I went to Valley Village one time, this is months ago, and Sandy pointed it out, and she goes, "Oh, look at all these bags." And there was like dozens of bags there, and I go, "Oh, that's pretty good." And these look like friends and stuff. I said, I can't, I have to finish sorting what I have. There is some non-Lego here. Oh, old gray 4x8, fantastic. So I saw this one and I said, I was sort of interested, but I left it because I just couldn't justify it at the time. But what it had was, let's see if I can find it easily. It was, for a lot of everything. It was, there it is, that piece right there. And there's actually, I don't know if I did talked about this before on YouTube, but I think this is from Lego Movie 2. I haven't looked it up yet, but it's the classic space logo with all glitterified. So we went back again a few days later, and lo and behold, the bag was still there, and most of the other bags were gone. I said, we had a discount card. Let's just buy it. So we bought it. I bought it honestly just for that one brick and possibly that one set. I'm gonna figure out what it's from and rebuild it. I'm noticing there's lots of things in here that are interesting. This is my bin for washing. These pieces have not been washed yet, and I'm looking through here, and it's like there's a lot of. I think this was obviously Friends and/or Lego Movie 2 pieces, and there was another one. This guy here, more glitter. This is probably something from one of the characters in Lego Movie 2. The one thing I don't like about Valley Village is they always remove the minifigs, and it would be nice to have some of the minifigs. And I don't know what happens to them because they're not in, or they get sold very, very fast. They're not on the shelf when I'm there. Very, very rare when we find an actual Lego minifig there. This is not Lego, but always a good piece to have. So there's a little bit, every pink piece is non-Lego. It is not Mega Block either, but it's, I don't know what it is. I think it's the Tyco or something like that. A pair of scissors. Cool to have. I think this is the same as the soccer nets that they came out with, and I cannot see the word Lego in here, but I am gonna just assume, because it's like the red soccer nets, my friends will tell me if that's Lego or not. So if I ever decide to get back into building town, I'm glad I still pick up these sets that have some really, really nice colors and really nice pieces to build buildings and really interesting details. I know I keep on saying I'm an old school builder, but I keep on like thinking I'm going to build something modern-ish. I just never do. But that's why I grabbed the bag, was for that one part, the Lego logo. I mean the classic space logo on a on that curved slope. So I will buy, after thinking about it a few times, because again I didn't buy it the first time. But I will buy a set just for one piece, and the other pieces in here were cool enough to buy. Like, they're really good colors. They're really interesting. It looks like an ice cream shop. And I'm actually surprised, because here's that new yellow, orange, bright orange, yellow thing, whatever it's called. And yet it also has some really old gray in here, which is right up my alley, because like old gray is something that I'm always wanting. So that's another reason why I bought it. I saw the old gray, and but the light blues and the well, that's not at all. And there was that. See, sometimes you can just look at the lot, and that's not Lego, that's not Lego, that's not Lego, and the last one's not Lego. So that was easy. Those two are not Lego. That tile is Lego, and it's probably one of the Friends vet sets, because it's got a picture of a cat on there with a plus. So probably a vet set. Friends did come up with a lot of vet sets because they like their animals. What I find is that sometimes you come across a non-Lego in a Lego build that's 90, so you have to check every part. That's the issue. Check every part, make sure the Lego logo's on it. Sometimes you can tell from a distance that it's not Lego, but sometimes you actually have to go right down to the look for the logo on the piece. But some of these, whoops, like that, definitely not Lego. This color, these pieces, definitely not Lego. And yet most of it is. So that old gray. So 2 old gray pieces in a sea of new pieces, and that's something. And I often wonder about that. So obviously they probably had 2 or 3 different types of lots there, and it's kind of mixed them together. Mega Block, pink. That's not Lego. Oh, right for trash can. Oh wow. I do keep the non-Lego bin to sell and or take to Value Village for another discount card. But sometimes the pieces overshoot that box and end up in my trash can. I'm not gonna go digging for them. So that piece is now lost to the Mega Block pink. Lost to the landfills of the time, which is fine. I do like old gray, old dark gray, kind of nice. So there's obviously a mixture of different eras, mostly new, and yet there are some old gray pieces in here, which is, I always like this piece with little wheels on the bottom. You can do a lot of little things with that, and I honestly should, I keep on saying this, I should do more than just what I'm doing with the classic space, but I just don't have time to expand my horizons, as I say, and try other things. I do have some ideas that I'm going to attempt to do during the winter when I can't get outside and do stuff around the house. I do want to finish sorting everything that's under my desk and getting this stuff all organized. As I said, I did I did a yeoman's job on getting everything up off the floor and everything on the shelf where it's supposed to go. But I still have to do a lot of sorting. And but what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna do the sorting 100% of the time. I'm not gonna like open up these bags and sort them out like this all the time until I'm done. I'm going to do some sorting. What is that? Is that Lego? No, it's not Lego. I can go away. I'm gonna do sorting interspersed with right now I have see, there's old gray versus new gray. I don't think it's laid on there. So you got old gray piece and a new gray piece. So old dark gray and a new dark gray. So anyway, I mentioned it before, I do want to reinforce my landing pads on the layout on the these guys, because they are starting to droop. The more shows I do, the more I notice a droop. Nobody else does, but I notice a droop. So I'm gonna cantilever. I think that's the right word. I'm gonna cantilever something from here out to here, coming out. But I want it to be inconspicuous. I want it to be something that people will not readily see unless they're looking for it. So it's gonna have to be small and self-contained and easy, obviously, because again, landing pads have to come off easily when I'm taking down a show. as I say, if it takes over 2 hours to set up, or takes over 1 hour to take down, then something's got to go. Because I don't want to. I am going to be doing a show. I want to rephrase this. I am planning on doing a show in 3 weeks. It's back at the Etobicoke. It's at the Centennial Park. That's it, Centennial Park. And it's a 1-day show. It runs from 9 to 2:30, and I'll be there at 7 in the morning to set up, and I should be done by 9 before the show starts, if I get in on time. And the rest of the guys are going to be doing the Mississauga Comic Expo, MCX, and I didn't tag along for that one. It was kind of a last minute thing where I should have been reading the news groups better, find out that this was going on that weekend, October 16th weekend. But what had happened was that my friend who came over the other day and dropped off that Lego for me was asking if I was going to do any shows in the near future, and I said, I just got an email today from the Collector Toy Canada, CTCS, the Canada, or the Collector Toy, Canada Toy Collector Society, Canada Toy Collector Society, got it right. Their show on October 16th at the little gymnasium that they rent. I was there in the spring or last fall, and I thought it was a cute little show. It was nice and quiet, which is my first show back into after the COVID lockdowns. So it was nice to do that without too much of a fuss. There, well, almost done. And so I really enjoyed doing that show, and it was a really quiet show. It's something you usually don't want in a show. Like I love busy shows and stuff, but this was my first show back into doing this kind of stuff, and so I wanted to kind of ease back into it, and this was a perfect show. And right now, I did the Anime North, which was an absolutely monstrous, massive show. It's the biggest show I've ever done, period. Like, it's not even close to, no other show I've ever done was even close to how big the Anime North show was. And I loved it. And it was 3 days. It was utterly fantastic for 3 days, and very busy, and a lot of people came by, and a lot of people loved the layout and loved all the other displays at the show. And again, it was a Toro Lug event, so I had a really good time with the Toro Lug guys, and it was exhilarating. It was absolutely exhilarating. But right now, I'm kind of in the slow-mo. I'm in slow mode, puttering here, puttering there. I hear Mississauga Comic Expo is a really busy show, and a lot of people on the news group for Toro Lug are looking forward to it, and I would be too. Honestly, I would be. But right now, for me, this exact second, for this one show in October, I think I'm going to step back again, do a nice quiet show, get the layout down the way I want to. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get. I have a whole plan, and I've even bought the wood, and I talked about it before, where I have to. I'm making wooden containers, wooden boxes for all the electronics, for all the power that has to go to the rails, to the lights, to everything, to the motors, to the RCXs, to the controllers. I mean, I got. I think I looked at it, and I have about 18 wall warts if I'm powering and lighting the whole thing. 18 wall warts, 18 120 volt to whatever volt adapters that have to be set up every time I want to run a show. I mean, some of those are the train controllers, obviously, for the train track and the monorail track, which runs off of train controllers. and some of my really old videos, you'll see that I've built RCXs into the layout to run things, and RCXs require power too. And the lighting requires at least 14, 12 of the power adapters. 12 power adapters are just for the lighting alone. So that's a lot. That's honestly a lot. So I wanted to build a box that has all the wiring in it. And so basically you just have the pigtails of wires coming out of the box, and you just plug it into the wall, and all of a sudden all the wall warts are powered, and they're all secured, and I don't have to set that up. So, and that would resolve, help out reduce the amount of setup time. So I planned it out months ago, and I even bought the wood for it. My problem is that the garage has not been amicable to me doing any kind of woodworking project in it. We've been using it for storage. We've been using it temporarily to put the beds and all that stuff. I have not been able to clear off the workbench enough to actually pull out the table saw and cut up some wood. And now it's getting cold again. So I have to come up with something. And what I hope is for the show on the 16th of October, at least I have the one box, because again, I wanted to build the boxes in sections. There's gonna be one box for the lighting, period, because I'm not gonna do lighting every show. I'm gonna do lighting in shows where there's the lights out. So I don't need to bring that box to shows where I'm not setting up lighting. But I do need to bring a box that can control. Basically, my plan is the other box is gonna have 4 train controllers and 4 RCXs, so that's 8. That's 8 power supplies, 8 wall warts that I have to power. But I also want to keep it in a very finite area. Oh my gosh, how going camping pro? So the idea is those my boxes that I built for the layout are set up based on base plates. 2 base plates by 2 base plates are my square boxes, and 2 base plates by 3 base plates are my rectangle boxes. And so, and when I went out to Sale, the electronic superstore, I bought the PDUs, what we call power distribution units. Basically, it's a glorified power bar. PDUs, I bought 4 of them that have 6 plugs apiece, and they're 20 inches long. So they're 4 network racks, which I play with all the time. And I thought this was brilliant because I'll have enough room to put all the wall warts on there. And so that cleans up. And since my boxes that I want to build from electrical are going to be the same, basically the same width as my square boxes, 20 inches inside, because I'll just fit on top of a box for shipping and all that stuff. I'll put the same thing on the bottom so it doesn't slip off. I'll put studs on it, wooden studs, so it's like I did with the other boxes, and you can see the old pictures of all that on my channel elsewhere. My creating of my wooden boxes to ship my layout around. But these things are not going to be as high, and it's going to be half as thick, half as wide. So it's going to be 20 by 10, basically. That's the idea. And I drew it out, and I measured up all the PDUs, and I measured up the wall warts, and I measured up where I want the wiring. And that should, on paper, work just fine. Problem is, obviously, when you build it, you always find out things that you didn't take into consideration. But that's my idea. So you're going to have the bottom layer of the box that has the PDUs, the power bars, on each side running 20 inches across, and then the wall warts plugged in this way, because if you go this way and you put the wall warts on top, then all of a sudden you're this high, just